Hi everybody. I just want to say happy Thursday to everyone. It's 7:12 in the morning on Thursday. It's been a little bit of an interesting week here. But other than that, we're all good. Oops, sorry. Just figured I would stitch a little bit on the Game of Thrones piece here. Looks a little crazy for some people to see all these threads just dangling, but for me, I know what I'm doing. Actually going to just leave this because I just noticed this section isn't quite on the screen for you guys, so we're gonna come down here to the next, come up here to the next diagonal. I'll finish that little bit of the diagonal in another day, later today probably. So we're just gonna do some black, which is the first color after I take care of excuse me, these threads right here. These are my waist threads from previous, from the edge page of the edge of the previous row of pages. So I don't have to always be turning over my work. That's how I end my threads. So I'm just gonna grab my black, thread up my needle, and away we go. It's a little brighter so that I'm not constantly here. Get the arm down there. There we go. Now you'll be able to see everything. Sorry for the bumping. Get myself situated here. So I do my diagonals in rows of 10. And what I'll do is I will also go through and color complete within the row, within the row of 10, and then within that diagonal of 10. When I very first started, I was doing stitch by stitch in each row before I moved on to the next row. But now I'm in sections where there's big chunks of color. Like this black goes all the way down to here. So most likely I'll go all the way to there. I'll find the spot, finish all that. I'll find the spot where it is in the next little bit, and then I'll park it, and I'll move on to the next color or to the color that is the least. Sometimes I'll go from the least to the most within that little section that I'm working on, or within that diagonal. But like I said, I'm in a section of this pattern now where there is a lot of blocks of color. So, but occasionally when I get to a face, like these faces here, or the bowl over here, there's, you know, 2 colors here, 2 of this color here, 3 of this color here. So most times I'll sit and I'll focus on that face, and I'll get all the face done, and then I'll park it to where it's next if it's not in that diagonal. Then I'll look and see if it's in the next diagonal, and if it's not in the next diagonal, then I'll just end it off. So that's how we do that. Oh, I got a piece of my hair. Okay, so here's number. So yeah, yesterday was an interesting, crazy unexpected, unplanned day. Let's just say deer plus car equals no good. Yeah, so thankfully, you know, everybody's okay, and the car can be repaired. It just stinks that the garage that we're going through to repair it can't actually get us in for probably at least a couple weeks, if not longer, because they've got, I think the guy said they have 15 cars before our car. They can even get our car in to really look and see if there's any more damage than what you just see externally. So that kind of, you know, makes it a little harder, especially the, you know, this time of year. But like I said, one thing to be thankful for is everybody's okay. The deer even got up and walked away, so that's a good thing too. I'm gonna just count here for a second. We got my 10 across. So yeah, but other than that, we just keep going on with every day, day by day, you know, step by step. So it just stinks. This is, you know, our only car for the house. So, but thankfully, I have, you know, thought ahead, maybe, if you want to call it that. But years ago, when I was a nanny, I had gotten into a car accident, my one and only car accident, and I didn't have rental car on my insurance. But now I have it on my insurance, so we will have a car to get around when mine goes into the shop. But we don't really go and do too much anyway, as it is, even before all this stuff in the world. So it really doesn't affect us too much. It's just we needed something to get us in case we needed to go to the store or whatever the case may be, after, when it goes into the shop. The guy at the shop made it so that the hood can be completely closed and it can latch completely safely. And we cannot open the hood right now, because if we do open the hood, it's not going to close again the proper way. So, you know, like I said, everybody's okay. You know, it's just stinks for timing wise, but you know, what can I say, right? So I figured I would do a few, well, undid my needle, a few a little tag, get to know your needle worker tag, because I know I haven't really talked about myself very much. I tend to be more on the, you know, private side of my life, but I figured, you know what, you guys need to know a little bit about me, where I, you know, when I started doing my cross stitching and all those little enjoyable tidbits of information. So the first one is, how did you get into cross stitching? I believe I taught myself. Nobody in my family knew how to cross stitch. My knitting and crocheting, my grandmother taught me how to do those when I was a little girl. One of, a very good memory that I have growing up as a child, my grandfather lived one house up from us, so we could just, obviously we had to tell our parents that we were going up there. We could just go up there, ride our bikes up there, walk up there, and just visit with my grandparents, which was really nice, because I know there are people that don't get to see their grandparents whenever they want. My family doesn't get to see the grandchildren, or I don't get to see my nieces and nephews, and great nieces and great nephew, as much as I would like either, so I understand. But it was nice, and if you have that ability, it's wonderful. So I remember one time my grandmother wanted to teach me to crochet a doily using crochet cotton. So it's not yarn, and she showed me how to start it. She walked me through how to read the pattern, and I sat there for the day, sitting there crocheting with her, and then I went home for the night, and I came back the next day, and I had the doily completely crocheted. She couldn't believe that I had done that all in one day. I'm like, yeah, if it's something that I like and something that I want to do, I will just sit there and I will just keep going and going and going and going on it, until it's done or I get bored of it. So she taught me those, and like I said, for cross stitch, I was self-taught, but since then I have taught, I know I taught my youngest niece how to cross stitch. She has done several gorgeous pieces. She just did one for her boyfriend, the Galaxy, and she did it on black Aida. It came out really nice. And now she's working on a very large Christmas piece that she found, I believe, on Etsy. She just started it a few days, about a week or two ago. Haven't seen any updates on it yet, but it looks like it's going to be a very nice piece. And I believe, I'm not sure if I taught my sister, but my sister knows how to do it, a little bit of it now. I taught one of my dear friends just recently in October how to do it, and she's gotten bitten by the bug, so she's now working on sunflowers that are sticking out of cowboy boots, and she bought like 2 more patterns the last time we were up there, and one of them is one of them is a old-fashioned pickup truck, which we need to change a few little details on the pickup truck to look like the pickup truck that her husband is restoring. So that would be interesting. We're gonna do that, look at that over Thanksgiving, because we're gonna get together for Thanksgiving, just a small group, her family, her husband and her kids. And I tried to teach my best friend how to do it, how to cross stitch, but she couldn't figure, she got frustrated with it, which is fine. But she took up, I taught her how to loom knit, and she's taken that off like a bandit, and she's been making hats and blankets and things like that for people and donations, and it's just great to see people, that you have shown how to do things, to have it take off, and them just see that excitement in their eyes of like, oh, I can do this? Oh, great. And watch them just go to town on it, and something that brings you joy is now bringing somebody else joy, is just the greatest feeling in the world. So yeah. And the next one is, how long have you been cross-stitching? I honestly don't remember when I started cross-stitching. I know I've stopped and started and stopped and started. I think like most of us have. So I don't think I like I said, I really don't remember when I started, but it's been a while. I've never really fully finished a piece before. I have a piece that I would like to get fully finished so that I can get it out to the recipient that doesn't know that it's coming. And I'm not going to say what it is, who it's for, because I don't know if that person watches this. But I would like to get that at some point, to get fully finished. I do have another piece that I started for my mother quite a few years before she passed away, and I have it here with me where I live now. I grabbed it out of storage one day when we went, and I was thinking, oh, you know, it would be great to get it done, get it framed up, put her picture with it, you know, as a little memory piece for her. But to be completely honest, I don't really know if I will ever pick that piece up. I might just take it off. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off the scroll rods, put all the floss with it, and put it aside for now, so that I can use that scroll rod for another project. And I would like to finish it. I mean, who says I have to completely finish it, you know? There's one full page left of cross stitch, so it's not like it's a lot left to do. There's the full page of crosses left to do, and there is back stitching left to do on that page, because I think when I first started it, I wasn't doing the back stitch as I went, so I have to go back, and do all the back stitching on those first few pages that I didn't do. But I really don't know if that's something that I'm gonna do, if I'm really gonna sit down and finish it, or if I'm just gonna put it aside. Like I said, it has so many memories. Yes, it would be great, it would be nice to have it finished so that I can do what I want to do with it, but I don't know, so many memories in it, and I don't know, we'll see. There's still plenty of time to figure that out. My favorite piece, like I said, I have never really fully finished a piece, but I would say, if I had to say a favorite piece, probably the one that I was, like I said, doing for my mother. I'd picked out a book, and we were at the store one day, and I was like, alright, let's, you know, we'll pick out a cross stitch, I'll make it for you, and we picked it out. I got all the floss that day, got the fabric that I needed, everything, and I started it, and, you know, life happens. I'd work on it, you know, put it down, work on it, put it down, work on my other crafts, come back to this one, and then I put it down, and I haven't gotten back to it yet. I think it's peonies, is what would be the finished picture, bunches of little peonies, but yeah, that I would have to say that one. Actually, I like all of my pieces. They all have like meaning to me, or they're for a purpose. Like I have this piece here that I'm working on for my boyfriend. He loves his Game of Thrones. I have a couple pieces that I want to do for gifts for friends. Yeah, so like I said, all of my pieces are favorites, but if I ever had to pick one, I'd probably just pick the one that I was making for my mom as my favorite. And what cross-stitching tool or technique have I not tried yet? I really don't know if there is a tool or technique. I'd say for techniques, I haven't done any specialty stitches. So for the technique would be specialty stitches, just because I haven't done any of those. And I don't know about any tools that I haven't used. I just started using Q-snaps this year. I was always a hoop girl. Then watching everybody else with their Q-snaps and them talking about the Q-snaps and all that, I was like, I want to try those out. And I think I am converted over to being a Q-snap girl. I have 2 projects that consistently live in their Q-snaps. I don't take them out. This piece and one other piece. That is a surprise for somebody. They live in their snaps. And then I have one other Q-snap that I rotate, that I use with all my other projects. And I think if it doesn't fit in that Q-snap, that one is an 8x8 that I have saved aside. If it doesn't fit in that Q-snap, then I'm just going to stitch in hand with that piece, because I have a couple small pieces that just don't fit in the Q-snap, and like I said, I'm converted over to a Q-snap girl. So I think that's what we're going to do from now on, is just either stitch it in hand if it's small enough, or use a Q-snap. Let's see, what are some of my cross-stitching goals? I would love to finish some pieces in 2021. Finish stitching them at least. If they're not fully finished, like in a frame or made into something, then that's fine. But yeah, so finish some fully finished pieces. This one here, I don't think is gonna get finished in 2021. I could be completely wrong. It's taken me, I've been working on this since June 2019. I think so. I think I've been working on it for a year. And I just started the 4th row of pages. So, you know, with that to say, I don't think this one's going to be 2021. But there are other pieces in my pile, in my box of pattern of whips, that I believe could be and hope and will be finished in 2021. When? I don't know. I'm not putting any dates on when anything needs to be finished. I just like to have the relaxing aspect of the cross stitch. I'm a process stitcher. I love the whole process of it from start, you know, kitting it up, finding the patterns that I love, getting all the materials that I need, if I need to order them, then waiting for them, and that anticipation of, oh, is it coming in the mail today? Is it coming in the mail tomorrow? And then opening it up and, you know, realizing, oh, that's right, I had gotten this to do with this. And then, you know, putting those first few stitches in, and then also seeing it all come to life. It's really cool. Like with this one, just seeing all the faces come through has been really fun and enjoyable. Like in this row, I don't know. I don't really look ahead to see what's coming. So, you know, I just be stitching along, and the next thing you know, I have a face complete. Be like, oh, hey, there's a person right there, you know. And it's just, that's what I find enjoyable, you know, seeing it come to life, making all the little X's, making it into something come to life. So, and then there's favorite needle and fabric. I don't really have a favorite needle. I kind of stitch between a 28 and a 26, depending what I have available, whatever I grab, or what's on the project. Favorite fabric, I'll pretty much stitch on anything. Right now this one's 28 count. I've got some 32 count that I'm stitching on. I've got some 14 count 8 I'm stitching on, some 22 count I'm stitching on. So yeah, I'm not really picky on my fabric. You know, if it's a full coverage piece, it's just going to be white. Because you're not going to see any of the color of the fabric when the piece is completely done. There's no point in getting a colored fabric for a full coverage. Like I said, the whole thing's going to be covered up. And, you know, save yourself a couple pennies when it comes to your fabric, and get white instead of a colored fabric. If it was a design where, you know, the background's going to show, then yes, I will do hand-dyed fabric or colored Aida or something like that, because there are a couple pieces. My Mirabilia is on a hand-dyed fabric. My Pandemic is on a colored fabric. Yeah, so there, like I said, there are pieces that I will use a hand-dyed fabric for. And then, like I said, all of my full coverage pieces are on just white, because they're going to get covered up anyway. And then, most challenging stitch. I'm going to have to say, and it's not because of the stitching aspect of it, because it's still making X's, but the most challenging stitch that I feel that I have right now is my Mirabilia. And that is because there's a lot of things on there that I have not done before. I've done all the cross stitching. That I've done. I've done cross stitching. I'm talking about like working with Krynic. This will be my first time with Krynic. This will be my first time with Whisper Thread. This will be my first time with beads. So first time with beads on a big piece. I've done there's one piece that I've done beads on before, but it was only a handful of beads. This Mirabilia has a lot of beads, and it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be worth it in the end. That's going to be my most challenging one, because like I said, of all the beading, there is some backstitch, which is fine. I've done backstitch before. I've done the cross stitches before, obviously. And like I said, the Krynic's going to be a challenge. Just going to take it one stitch at a time with the Krynic, the Whisper, and then I'll take it one bead at a time. It might be the type of thing where I work on it for a little bit and put it aside for a while, for a day or two, and then work on it again the next day. You know, it doesn't have to all be done in one day. I usually work, you know, like, I usually get like 3 pieces stitched in on a day. So work for a couple hours on a piece, take a break, and then put that one away, spin my wheel, and then keep going on the next one. I'll spin my wheel if I have done the challenge group Enchanting Stitches. If I've completed the monthly stitches, the monthly challenges, then I'll go and I'll start spinning my wheel to fill up the rest of the weeks and days throughout the month. So yeah, we got that. And then this is all I do. I don't have much thread left on this one, so I'll just come down a few columns away for my waist thread. And then I'll just cut it off. There we go. And now I need to add some more black. Another strand of black. Let me get my black out. Sorry for the popping. And then the next question is favorite artist. Don't really know if I have a favorite artist. Yeah, I don't think I have a favorite. Not that, yeah, no favorite artist. When it comes to cross-stitch designs, they have to, be something that I'm going to stitch to give to somebody, like as a gift, as like this one, or it has to be something that is, appealing to me personally, in order for me to, spend the money on it and buy it and stitch it and all that stuff. Hang on one second, I'm just gonna fix myself so you might bump for a minute. Okay. So I'm using my stand here so I don't flip over my work, because you can see when I ended it. So I do the loop method for one strand on the front. So here, let me do this so you guys can see. I go down on the top, so all of my thread is here, and then I come up in the top. Don't pull your thread all the way through. So, and I usually start my stitches in the bottom, so I'm a bottom to top stitcher in the row, but for this I start in the top, and I will try not to pull my thread out this time. No guarantees. Come up, okay, then I go down the same hole, and then I don't pull it all the way through, because I know me, I'll end up pulling the loop through. I come up in the bottom hole, and then I go through the loop. And then when I'm stitching, I'll pull the loop back out, and I'll catch my tail so that I trap my tail in, and I'll stitch over my tail as I work across. And then I go back down the top hole, and that creates the first leg of my stitch. And then I will just go through and finish my stitch, and my stitch is secured in place. And like I said, I'll just stitch over the tail as I'm going. And then just keep on trucking, keep on moving along. For a few stitches until, 4 or 5 stitches, and then I will snip the tail, and then I'll just keep on working. And that way I don't have to turn over my work, because like I said, I'm using my stand right now to hold this, so I am sorry if this is bumping around for anybody. Trying to brace it with my right arm underneath my hoop, underneath my snap, so that it doesn't bounce around as much. It doesn't look like it's bouncing around too much, so gotta work with what you got. And the last and final question is favorite floss tuber. I can't really say that there's a favorite, just one favorite floss tuber, because everybody offers something different in their floss tubes. So I would say I like all the floss tubers that I watch. I can't just pick one favorite floss tube. Most times, okay, I went through a hole that I wasn't supposed to go through at this point. There we go. Most times I'll just be sitting here and I'll just be cross-stitching away, watching different YouTubers, catching up on their videos. I have a backlog on my watch later list. Yeah, so there's no favorite floss tuber. I like them all. Like I said, if I didn't like them, I don't think I'd watch them. And each one has something different to offer. I don't think any two floss tubers that have been watching are actually doing the same piece. So that's interesting, you know, that there's so much out there, and there's so many floss tubers out there that not everybody has the same piece. That's really neat to see. You know, I mean, yes, I know that there are sales that are happening, then that, you know, you see those pieces all the time. But even then, they're still stitching it in different ways. That it's still like seeing two different pieces. I myself will actually be taking part in my very first sale in December. I've decided to do the Stitching Book Club. She is doing A Christmas Carol in December. It's going to be a smaller piece. The fabric that we needed to purchase was only an 8 inch by 8 inch piece of fabric. I have all the supplies here. I just want it to be December 1st, or December 5th, I think, is when the first release comes out. I have my book. I'm just going to do an audio version of the book so that I can listen to it while I stitch. You don't have to listen while you stitch. You can stitch and then read it. You can read then stitch it. It's, you know, up to you. The little snip that she did show looked pretty neat. I've been wanting to try one of her Stitching Book Club pieces. And I'm a Christmas girl. Give me Christmas. Even to this day, like Christmas Eve, I can't sleep very well on Christmas Eve. I don't know why. I think it's just the anticipation of, you know, what am I getting this year, you know? What's coming in the Christmas stocking? What's coming in my presents? You know, what did I buy? What did people buy for me? Not that anybody needs to buy me anything. I'm just, you know, happy and content spending Christmas with the ones that I love. But yeah, I'll still be up early on Christmas Day. Just that whole anticipation of, you know, what's to come and whatnot. So many fun Christmas memories from my parents. They would let us open one gift Christmas Eve. Every Christmas Eve we were able to open one, which was nice. You know, and then we always had our stocking every Christmas morning. They would also do one large gift a year. So it could have been one year I think I got a TV for Christmas. That was my big gift. One year I got a stereo system. That was my big gift. You know, things like that. You know, we always got the traditional, I believe, some clothes, like most children will get at Christmas time. And you're always like, oh man, why did I get clothes for Christmas? You know. But then as you become an adult, you're like, oh man, I need those clothes. Why can't I get those clothes for Christmas? You know, things like that, you know, just change as you get older. But yeah, lots of fun Christmas memories. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that sale. maybe there'll be future sales to come. Been looking into some of the free sales. Free, like, year-long sales. I don't know if I would be able to start it right away in January. But we'll see. I've got so much stuff going now. Let's just add more stuff, right? Thankfully, I'm not taking part in No New Starts 2021. I would already be not making that one go. But you know what? Everybody that is doing those No New Starts in 2021, good luck to you. I hope that you are successful in, not having starts. I need to actually cut a thread right here. And I'm almost done this little section of black, so we will call it a day when this little strip is done. And just snip it off. Let me get back under. There we go. Alright. I've got 6 stitches left. And then we'll just call this a day. I know it's not that interesting just watching black stitches. But if you guys want to see more on this, stitched on this piece, just let me know in the comments. Or if there's a particular, anything you guys want to see, just let me know. I'm willing to work it out and try it if I haven't done it before. Try it out before I put it on camera. And then bring it up and show you. Or if you want, a slower version of the loop start from the front with one strand, just let me know. I'm willing to show what you guys would like to be shown. I can take this piece out again on a different diagonal where it will have a little more color so you can see how I work my colors. Like I said, I work from the top of the diagonal down to the bottom. I only work my diagonal in the length of the page. Alright, so this is the end of this diagonal. Not the end of the diagonal, sorry. The end of this section of black. So now I'm just looking at my pattern keeper to see where my next one is. And it's 7 from this row right here. So I'm just going to count down 7. Let me double check. Okay, so it's 7 with this one. I myself all twisted up. 7, and I'm just gonna park it there because the rest of these stitches here is all going to be different colors, and I'd like to get these done as this little section right here for the rest of the bull's face, and then I will come down. I'll probably work all the colors in, because I've got a pretty big section of black coming up, so I'll probably work all colors and then come back in and pick up the black and then just fill in all the black in this diagonal. I gotta come over here and finish out this diagonal. I'm just gonna cut this thread right here, get out of the way. So yeah, that is that for me today, everyone. I hope everyone has a safe and happy Thursday. I almost said Tuesday. Wow. Safe and happy Thursday. I hope that everybody has a safe and happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate Thanksgiving. I hope that you guys all stay safe. Stay healthy. If you guys end up, having to go out, wear those masks. Keep that 6 feet distance if you can't wear a mask. And I will see you guys in a few weeks when I do my stitching update, my December update for what I did in November and my plans for December. It'll just tell you I've made some good progress on some pieces this month so far. And we're only on to the 19th of the month. Stitching has gone really well this month. Lots of good progress. So, like I said, I hope you guys all have a great Thursday, have a great weekend, and a great Thanksgiving next week. And for now, I'll see you guys next time. Alright? Bye, guys.